Thinking about it, thinking about it. No,
There we go. We're finally live.
Hooray!
screw
And
you
now that we're
guys.
live, let me go spam social media so that people can watch if they so choose. In the meantime, let's start with everybody go ahead and roll your icon relationships.
Eat your donuts now, son. That's fine. Eat them now. Your mom can't hear you. She's watching.
Ooh, a 5 and a 6.
You just got the.
Let me remember
Got the
to
equipment.
actually bloody silence my phone.
That's probably useful.
I always forget.
Ooh, pop out. Go.
Excuse me.
You got a 5.
I'm going to throw my 6 at Blood of Vol tonight.
Okay.
Blood of mole.
I keep forgetting that. I need to do that soon. I keep meaning to make a printout that has all your icon relationships on it and then laminate it so I can just marker on it real quick. But I keep forgetting. Are we missing somebody in? No, we're not. We got everybody in Roll20. It looked like we were missing more than just Justin in Roll20, but oh well. Okay. Who wants to do the recap? Because I think at this point we all kind of need it.
Oh Lord.
I vaguely remember what I did.
Actually, honestly, I think I might remember more what you did.
Your stuff was a bit of the focus last time.
Because.
All right, so
you got.
I'll at least recap what I did, and if somebody wants to fill in some gaps, then by all means, get crazy, go nuts.
I'm pretty sure we stuck with you, so.
I spent a night sleeping fitfully, getting to experience somewhere that I wasn't, which, pleasant. I'm kind of used to that experience. It's happened once or twice, but this was definitely different. I dreamt of the scene that we had just left, the murder scene where everybody had been played with mentally, and found an observer there. It didn't take very long for that observer, whatever it was, to notice me. At which point it tried to attack me psychically-ish. I was saved in the nick of time by a small fuzzball landing on my chest and waking me up.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Gemma. And then, after, fully coming to myself, explaining myself slightly, I had a conniption fit at finding a dagger in my pillow sitting next to my head with a note from my favorite spy. And I actually need to get a collection of Spy versus Spy comics and post them on the website, chronicling our antics in the past. So I alarmed our vampiric friend from downstairs, but he was causing a ruckus with my animals anyway, so sticks tongue out at him. Wind up going over to meet our boss at the site, inform her of these two events. She's not happy with me, and eventually discovered that the energy around the area where I believe the intruder to have been in the watch or in that tower feels not dissimilar from the wastelands. The
The Mournland.
Huh?
Mournland.
Mournland. So fun and exciting in all of the wrong possible ways. Like finding out that your parents are into BDSM.
What?
That's awfully specific there, Lloyd.
Very, very much so.
Yeah, this sounded very, very specific.
Right? And kind of visceral in a weird way.
I didn't know your parents were into BDSM.
I have no idea whether or not they are.
I doubt it.
I actually kind of do as well. My mom wouldn't stand for that. At any rate,
Never mind.
yeah, more on that later if anybody wants. I very highly doubt, though.
Oh, jeez.
So that's more or less where I left things. I know that Wraith and Cord had some dealings with their friend, well, Wraith's friend, but I don't remember enough of what that was, so fill in.
What? No, the last thing I remember is we pretty much sneaked, we carefully moved back towards Cord's place, and that was pretty much it for us, honestly. We were just honestly just planning on getting ready.
Yeah, last game wasn't a long
He
session.
needed to get Winsom into any facility he was going to need in the morning. But we were trading. Last I remember, we were being very careful, make sure we weren't followed, and went back to Cord's place. And the plan was just rest to get through the night, and then immediately start getting Winsom on whatchamacallit, wherever he needed to do his experimentation.
You cut out there for a second again.
Sorry,
Eddie.
just get him to where he needed to do his experimentations and research.
Out of curiosity, what browser are you using?
I'm using Chrome.
Have you tried using Firefox?
I have not.
Don't have to tonight, but maybe next time, give that a try and see if maybe it works a little better for you.
Okay.
Without the freezing, because the freezing is really weird.
Yeah, that seems less like a browser issue, more like a network issue. But
yeah, but at the same time, it's.
I mean, I'm also on Chrome, so.
Well, yeah, so am I for that matter. But
yeah, who knows? Different computers, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, the Winsom was going to possibly head back to the university and talk to people and see about getting reinstated so that he can continue his research. And I think that's roughly where you guys left it. As for the other side, the rest of you, you also got one of the on-duty wizards there to help see if you can bring whatever creature was standing in that spot in the dream back to reality, but you were unable to do so.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
What?
Yeah, we didn't find anything left there, right?
Yeah, there was nothing left there, and then basically everybody buggered off to get some rest.
That sounds about right.
I pretty much think that's exactly where we left off. Okay. So, with that in mind, so I know Cord and Wraith are over at Cord's place. Where are the other three? Where are you guys at?
Oh, I think we were still at the crime scene, or had we left?
You guys had left.
Right, so we would have been...
He was going to decide where he was going to stay the night.
Probably not my place.
Right. So, yeah, I offered up my place because I have no real need to sleep there anymore.
Yeah, sleep is kind of optional
Yeah.
for you at this point. You don't get to completely go without sleep. But,
Oh, I know. But, like, the Warforged thing of inactivity and whatnot. Yeah. It's all good. Either way. So, yeah, we crashed, they crashed. I'm guessing we crashed at the vampire house.
There's a vampire house?
Yeah, it's my house.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's the vampire house.
Or apartment, I
That
suppose.
sounds like a funny college-based movie. Vampire house.
Okay, so, alright. So, in the morning, all of you receive a message brought via house courier
Who
to
does?
your abode. I can't remember which Dragon Marked house that is right now. But it
Well,
is
it
brought by...
I want to say Zalargo.
No, Zalargo's
Wasn't it Madani?
No, Madani is counterintelligence.
Damn it.
Zalargo is the gnome nation. It is a gnome. It is
They
a
do
gnome
messages,
house.
But,
It's a gnome house, but I can't remember who they are.
I don't know. I know Zalargo does messages, but I'm not sure about like just couriers.
Orion.
Oh, that's half.
Orion is not there. The travel one. Now I'm just gonna have to look this up because
Yeah,
otherwise
no,
I'm
I'm
gonna
pretty
be
sure it was
guessing.
Orion. I just looked it up.
No,
House Orion,
it's not. I know it's not.
House specializes in courier
They-
service and land-based transport.
Yeah, they do courier service between cities. Within the cities,
That's like items and
it's
stuff.
the Scribes organization.
Yeah, that's Zalargo.
Dragon Marked houses. No, it's not. Zalargo is a nation.
Oh,
It's not a house.
sorry. Yeah,
It's Civis.
Civis.
Civis. Sorry,
I'm
wrong.
pretty. Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's Civis.
For some reason, my brain was just telling me
We just
that
couldn't
Zalargo
let
was
it go.
nice.
The reason you latched onto it is because they're both gnomes.
Yeah, pretty
Both
much.
Civis and Zalargo are gnomes.
The Gnome City, the Gnome House. Yeah, okay.
All right, so you all get a courier, courtesy of House Civis, with a message for each one of you. In the case of the one going to both Cord's place as well as going to Xuan-de's place, there's only one, so you can imagine that the other one, there was another one that went to your regular house or dwelling. And what this basically says is that you're, as soon as you get the message that you need to head to a tavern called the Glittering Goblet and meet your new handler. Irvelin has to take care of some pressing things, and unfortunately that means that she's not going to be working with you directly, but you'll have a new handler that you'll meet there.
You trust this?
It has all the correct seals. Everything seems above board.
Am I the only one that wants to make a Twilight reference at Lucan's expense right now?
Yes.
Probably.
Wandering goblin, right?
Yes, definitely you are the only one.
The
Okay.
Glittering Goblet.
Okay.
Goblin is funnier.
I like Goblin.
Even wants to be reminded of those movies and books.
Glittering Goblin works.
Without the goblins appreciate it. Or, some of them are making good money.
All right, so you're gonna just go straight on over there. What are you guys gonna do?
Yeah.
Are they open for breakfast? May as well get some.
Winsom would no, we wouldn't bring Winsom because this is Lantern's business.
Yeah, that seems like a bad idea.
So I would assume that me and Cord would probably agree that we need to get Winsom taken care of and situated first. And if that means under guard and everything else, then we would do that.
And when Winsome wakes up and you tell him about this, he's like, "If you can get me to the university grounds, I think I can take things from there." In broad daylight on the university grounds, not much likely to happen. Not impossible to happen, I suppose. I expect, but I still know some people.
Okay, so then we'll at least do that for him. Of course, I'll offer him guard if he needs it. we could always put a shadow on him. Somebody from the Lanterns, I'm sure.
He looks at it and says, "You're probably right. If word gets out at what I'm looking into, and no doubt rumors at the very least will get started as soon as I make myself known. Somebody might come after me for this. Maybe Kenneth, maybe our unknown group involved in this mess, but the possibility does exist. But at the same time, I can't just have a bodyguard. That would raise more questions than I think is prudent given our situation. A shadow, probably the best option, given the circumstances.
And so, I'll probably, I nod and I would go ahead and take steps towards doing that. However, I would do that. I'm sure the character would know better than I would. Making the contacts, whoever we needed to just. There may not be a full-fledged operative, but are probably just equally as good. Shadows, informants, maybe even wet work guys. Who knows? Even worst case scenario, if I didn't feel like I get somebody personally, because I have my own connections through the Ebon Path.
Well, I think at the very least for today, I should be all right. Nobody's going to be expecting me to go to the university. They can't possibly have something planned. Not for this. So, if we can get me up to the university, I know enough people that I'll be safe there, at least for today. And then tonight, we can perhaps discuss the future in regards to keeping me out of the hands of whoever is doing this. I mean, they've already made one play, I'm guessing, for me. So, who knows if they might make another.
Like I said, we'll see if we can just find somebody that's not just like blatantly right, just a big wall of meat. Looking for somebody who could pass as a scholar, probably just to shadow and watch, just kind of be in the area in case he needs help. And then once we've got that all secured and squared away, we'll get him to the university and then meet up at the Glittering Goblet.
Well, then am I going with you to this meeting? Well, I mean, what are you planning on doing?
Oh wow! I figured we got the message, and the message was to meet later. Was it to meet later, or was it to meet immediately?
No, it was as soon as you get the message.
As soon as we get the message. Okay, so then that's my misunderstanding. Well then, I'm sure it wouldn't be too much out of our way to swing him by the university, at least get him there to make sure.
Yeah, no, it's just a little time to get up there, maybe an extra hour, in terms of getting him up there and then getting to the meeting place. As far as you guys are aware, that the glittering goblet. Actually, you're right. The glittering goblin does sound better. Yeah, let's retcon that. That's the glittering goblin now.
I just have this image.
Totally a gay club for like gnomes and goblins and small creatures of all varieties.
Nope, nothing like that.
I
As far as
just
you
have
guys,
this image of a goblin covered in a pile of glitter as the mascot. Is all.
Just made with just crystals, just like
100% vampire sweat. It's.
Well, I was thinking gold and jewels and stuff.
Goblin claw.
you'd want to steal. I was just thinking like just quartz, carved from a quartz or something like that. He's with rhinestones.
So, from what you guys know, the glittering goblin is it's actually the equivalent of a cop bar. It's a tavern that, as far as you know, is owned and operated by the Sharn City Watch. Most of the patrons there are watchmen, their families, hangers-on, that sort of thing. The occasional mercenary or adventurer, but for the most part, it's the equivalent of a cop bar. It is found in the Clifftop district.
Where?
The Clifftop district.
Thank you.
Which is in the upper city. Are you guys on this one? I think you guys are. Yeah, you're on the show.
Yep.
I will move you guys over. And you can kind of tell why there's a cop bar in this area, because this is the adventurers' quarter, and they tends to get a little, shall we say, rowdy from time to time. So having a few extra watchmen on hand in the area is never a bad idea. So, actually, give me a second. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's Maeve. She's doing naughty things. Instead of being a corgi.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey. So for reference, this bar we're going to is exactly like one district up from where Lucan's house is.
From whose house?
Lucan.
Oh, okay.
Me.
Cool.
So. Because I'm in Broken Arch.
Sorry about that. All right, let's get back to this. So, what about the rest of you? Are you heading straight over to the Glittering Goblin, or no?
That's straight enough.
Okay.
How? This has all been happening like in the last 2 days, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I'm just gonna go straight to that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we were basically just a district below it in Broken Arch, where Lucan's house is, so.
Yeah, not too far.
Fairly nearby.
I'm assuming I'm gonna get breakfast there, so I might grab a bite real quick.
Yeah, right now this is late morning, 10ish or so, 10:30. When you guys get around there, they are open. Yes, quite possibly. Um, you guys go in first. Probably Lucan is probably there first, and then Xuan-de and Gemabeth arrive second. Rather considerably later, Cord and Wraith show up. When you guys get here, you see it's a pretty nice place. It's not really fancy or anything like that, but it's well cared for. It's very clean, very organized. It fits what your expectations are for a watch bar might be. There aren't very many people around. There's a couple of people working behind the bar, restocking liquor, cleaning things, organizing stuff. There's a couple of people at tables. Oh, are you bloody well kidding me? Just a second, I have a phone call.
Share it with her. Oh, wait. Yeah, right already?
No, he had a phone call.
Someone making a martini? What the hell was that?
No, spaghetti and was shaking up the Parmesan.
Ah.
I mean, I can go get a martini if you think it's appropriate.
When is
The
this?
martini will work with spaghetti. It's fine. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to be completely useless.
I would have
It's
a
a lot more
martini.
interesting if I have martini.
Dude, I drank like 3 blackberry sangrias. And the lady behind the bar was just laughing at me. At some point, my wife was on the phone, and my wife's on the phone, and me and my boy are playing slaps across the table, and I'm giggling. And they're embarrassing us. I'm embarrassing us at dinner.
Sounds about right.
But they were really tasty sangrias. And they were only $5. It was the Wednesday special.
Then why'd you only get 3? Come on, Eddie.
Huh? Oh, because I was too slotchy. I ate the 3 that had my pizza, and I was like, ugh.
All right, let's keep going. Hopefully there will be no more bloody interruptions, but we'll see. So anyway, where was I? Oh, I was describing the place. It's a two-story affair, um, to, which a lot of businesses are, given the fact that everything's built into towers. This one's pretty spacious. Um, it can hold a fair number of people, but like I said earlier, there's not many people sitting around right now. There's probably within the whole place, probably no more than a half dozen, maybe 7 or 8 tops, if you include the workers. As soon as you come in, um, one of the waitresses comes over to each of you as you come in and leads you to a table towards the back. It's not within sight of the door you came in. It's around a little corner near the kitchen, and there you see an elf man, um, finely dressed. Um, and you can see that on his lapel he's got the a small golden lantern, and on his other lapel he's got a small golden sword. And he invites you to.
Overachiever much?
What was that?
Overachiever much?
Anyway, he gestures for you guys to sit down as you come in. He doesn't really say anything. Whenever if you get any of you try to engage him in conversation, he just kind of shakes his head and says, "We'll wait for everybody to get here before we begin." Um, don't have to have any worries about this place, though. Again, I will explain that when everybody has arrived. He does tell you that you can order whatever you like off the menu. It's on the Citadel today, but he recommends that you stay away from the alcohol just yet.
I take him up on his offer and order myself a full meal.
I repeat, with extra dessert.
Steak and eggs, extra rare.
All right. He doesn't seem to be eating anything himself. He does have a large mug of some sort of juice, maybe orange juice. It's difficult to tell, that he occasionally takes a sip out of. He seems to be looking through some papers, and occasionally looking up at the rest of you and looking to see if anybody else has shown up. When you all finally get there, he sets the mug down, folds the papers in half, and sets them in front of him and says, "Well, I think it's about time we get started. My name, as I'm sure you've been wondering, is Alistair Hetrion."
Alistair what?
Hetrion. And I'm your new handler for this case. As you've been told, Lady Irvelin is, as she puts it, up to her tits in other problems, and I'm going to be taking over her position in this investigation. Now, I've gotten a briefing from her about what's been going on, but I would like to hear from you directly what you know, what you've learned, and what your thinking is happening. And in case you're wondering, you don't have to worry about keeping your voice low here. Just don't shout anything, you'll be fine.
Do I know him from the swords?
You've seen him around. You've never really interacted with him before.
Okay.
But you do know him. You do know his name. You imagine that he has known you and seen you around too.
So we probably know each other by reputation. Okay.
Yeah, if you may have met him once or twice at like a formal occasion.
Sure.
But probably nothing more than that.
Never out of dress uniform. Got it.
I send a message mentally to D, asking if he can check this guy out and see if he seems legit.
You try to do that. You notice that something doesn't feel right. Something feels like almost like your head is full of cotton.
When I try to do that?
Yeah.
Do I
And
notice the same thing?
yeah, you notice the same thing, and you don't actually get that message. As far as you know, as far as you know, no message was sent.
I poke around for a little bit mentally, try to cast my sight out a little ways, try to run through just the general milieu of my normal abilities and see what works and what doesn't.
Nothing works.
I level my eyes on our new companion and calmly inform him. I'm getting really tired of my abilities not working.
I
I
apologize, but it is by necessity. If sensitive work is being done here, then nobody should be able to listen in, whether it's with their ears or their mind. I apologize, but it's for all of our sakes. This has been the case here at this inn for quite some time, ever since the lanterns took over.
Okay.
so it's a front.
So I apologize, but yes, and yes, it is a front. Everybody knows that this is run by the Watch, but in actuality, it's run by the Lanterns. We have our connections with the Watch. They certainly come here in droves, but this is our place when it comes down to it. But we're getting rather far afield. Tell me what you know. Tell me what you've heard. And tell me what you've learned. As I said, I've had a briefing from Irvelen, but I would like to hear straight from the horse's mouth exactly what has been uncovered so far.
Well,
So,
I'll make it easy.
before we get right
Me and
down to
Cord
it-
can make it easy. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Before we get right down to it, I just want to know, from what I know of his reputation, what do I know of the guy? Is he trustworthy? Is he known for being underhanded but getting the job done? Is he known for being honorable? Things like that.
He's known for being completely upstanding. He's known for being basically the knight in shining armor type, which it's actually a bit surprising that he's working with the lanterns because based on his reputation, you wouldn't figure that he would have the necessary skill in deception and investigation to be recruited to the lanterns, which means that there's for what you know about him, there's definitely hidden depths that you haven't yet uncovered.
Yeah. So that means that the public knowledge, the reputation, is obviously a little incomplete, at least.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Even as a fellow sword, you understood him to be, the prototypical good cop.
Gotcha. Okay.
Gemma looks abashed at him and says, I apologize, sir. However, Irvelin was very specific that we talked to no one. Can you provide us some information that would indicate that you're in her confidences just to reassure me?
He looks over and says, she thought that you might be wondering about that, and he pulls another sheet of paper out from within his coat and hands it to you.
I take it and open it up.
It's basically a missive from Irvelin, complete with her seal, with her signature, that says that the bearer of this message is to be treated as if they are Irvelin herself in terms of following her orders.
Okay, I share it with the rest of the class.
All right.
Roll me a Princess of the Underworld plus intelligence check.
Okay, one moment. Princess of the Underworld plus...
Intelligence.
Okay. Make sure this comes out right.
If this is a forgery, this is a damn good forgery as far as you're concerned. Everything about it seems official. Nothing about it seems even remotely out of place.
Okay.
If anybody else wants to examine it in that respect, you could also roll. It's going to be an intelligence check.
I was pretty much, I was pretty much convinced from the get-go. The fact that he even said the word.
You froze there for again, Eddie.
Oh, sorry. The fact that he even said the word lanterns makes it seem like he's in the inner circle because nobody's supposed to know about him.
Well, there's
So,
also a spy in those lanterns that we're trying to find, so...
And there's my friend who would have no problem finding out about the lanterns and carrying on for pretty much all of this.
Yeah. At this point, I'm willing to go off reputation for the moment, but the rest of you don't really know him like that, so...
Yeah, but
I'll play along for now.
He waits and waits for you guys to look at it and says, can we continue now?
Yes, we can continue now. I'm satisfied. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Paranoia, caution is a benefit in this job. Paranoia is a detriment, just saying. In any case, so let's all get on the same page so we can figure out where to go to next. As a sign of faith, I'll tell you what I know, what your villain has arranged so far. She has had the corpses transferred to the morgue, where they can be examined in greater depth. It appears that one of the morgues that they were transported to was someone made an attempt to break in last night, and though we're not sure that it's connected, the possibility exists that this was related to what happened in the tower. That might be a point of investigation that you take up, but for the moment, let me continue. She has arranged for the five of you to be present. We're going to have a wizard be casting Speak with Dead on one of them later this afternoon, and you should be there for that so you can ask any questions. I'm not sure how much good it will do from what I understand of the situation, but it may shed some light on what's going on. In addition, the armory, such as it is, has been opened up to you. If it appears that you need weapons, armor, or other equipment during this investigation, you will be able to requisition it from the armory. Try not to lose it. Unfortunately, the selection right now has been somewhat stunted in light of what Lucan here is rumored to have done. Not everything has been cataloged just yet, but there should be enough to assist you should you need it. Now, are there any questions you have for me before I ask what you've learned?
None for me.
I think we're good.
All right, very well. Then let's hear from the horse's mouth. What have you learned since last night?
I'll start with the least relevant because I feel that it bears mention, but not necessarily really going over. I'm not sure if you're aware of, I always just call him the spy. He's kind of been a thorn in my side in particular, but has been a nuisance to almost every major power in the world that I know of. Nobody knows who he is, if it's a he. Nobody knows what they want, what they look like, what their name is. the would appear to be the absolute epitome of our craft. And they're back in town, and they paid me a visit last night, putting a dagger in my pillow, informing me that he was back in town and that we'd probably see each other soon. So, just throwing that little coal on the fire to make it that much hotter, we have one additional complication.
Do you think that this person coming has anything to do with what happened in the tower?
Truthfully, wouldn't excessively surprise me if it was, but if it is, I doubt that the event at the tower is his aim. I don't think that he's generally that crude, and 9 times out of 10, when he wants something done, you don't learn about what he has done until he's gone. Probably for at least a couple of weeks after he's gone as well. If he's, let's put it this way, if he's involved and he set that up, it's because he wants us to look at it and not something else.
I see. Well, all I can say in that respect is that without any conclusive information or evidence that links him to this tower situation, I think we should operate on the assumption that he is not involved. If something comes to light that suggests that he is, we can reevaluate, but there are too many things going on to try to connect all of those dots.
In general, I agree with that. I don't think that he bears considering at the moment until we see something more of him.
Yes, I agree. If something else comes up, we can examine the situation again, but I think for the moment we need to operate under the assumption that it is an entirely unrelated event. So that can't have been the only thing that happened last night.
Well, beyond that, have you seen the devices?
I have, yes.
Have you seen the intact one that got brought back to with the lanterns then?
Yes. From my understanding, you've been given both an intact one and a broken one. Is that correct?
Yes, though we haven't had much chance to examine the intact one.
In total, 4 of these devices were found.
I'll speak up at this point and inform that we will need one of the intact ones, and I'll enlighten more as soon as Lucan is done.
I believe we kept one of them to give to Cord. We just hadn't seen Cord yet.
Yes. Alright, somebody's mic is hurting my head.
Not
What's
it.
it doing?
Somebody is hitting their mic, it sounds like.
I'm on mute.
Oh, that might be me muting and unmuting. If that's so, I apologize.
I think it is, but yeah, it keeps making static noise, and it's...
I will stick to the software mute.
Okay, thank you. Alright, so... Lucan, Gemaveth, and Xuan-de were given an intact device to give to Cord when it was possible. So so that means that beyond the 2 that you have there are 2 more that were found, and they were intact as best as they were able to tell. They don't seem obviously broken, but they don't seem to be something that can be activated.
Were the ones able to discover anything about them?
The ones are still in the middle of their investigation. They've taken one apart to examine the interior to see what it's made from, what it's made of, and get an idea. One of them is remaining intact and being kept sealed and safe in case it should be necessary. But the ones are examining it such... Even in the situation where we're in this, it can't this sort of thing can't be rushed, or so they tell me.
Okay. Well, we'll let Cord explain the what he found from the disabled one that they were able to examine. That it has something to do, I think, with dimensions and like the
Lucan and the rest of you guys, you don't know about what they discovered yet, have you?
No, we have no idea. The only one who was there was Wraith and Cord.
Wraith, Cord, and Winsom.
Yeah. So I figured we'll gloss over letting Cord explain that.
Well, the Wraith can explain it.
Can he?
Is it my turn?
Are you still playing Wraith?
Yes.
Then yes.
So much to say. Do I actually have to say? What I'll do is I'll inform him that we have found using a contact who is an artificer of no small amount of skill. We were able to determine that this inactive device was something that appeared to be a device that could be used to draw on. I mean, it could be a lot of.
Froze again.
Sorry. To interact with other planes, whether that's to draw an extraplanar being, or just to tap the energies of a given plane. I mean, we need more research. We need more. Actually having the working sample would go a long ways towards determining ultimately what the design was aimed at doing. So that's pretty much how I would round that all up, and that we have our contact is currently at the university, and has begun his research using the inactive sample.
Froze again.
Sorry. If we get him the active sample, it'd probably go a long ways towards figuring out what it does.
And
yeah, you mean this? And Gemma hands it over.
Alistair reaches out, grabs it, and puts it under the table, and it looks at you like what the hell is this?
Bag.
It's not that I think it's going to go off, but let's be realistic here. The Watch has very little idea of what we're doing here. Let's not give them any reason to investigate, shall we? Keep it out of sight. Don't let anybody beyond authorized individuals look at it, examine it, or in any way know it exists. To that end, your contacts, are they a professor at the university? Are they a researcher there?
Not as such.
Not necessarily. He is an
He's
individual I've discovered some time ago, who I believe to be living under a identity, but suffice to say he is an artificer of no small skill, going by the name Winsom.
This is going to put him at ease.
I think Winsom pretty much knows that the jig is up, in all honesty.
I'll need to meet him before I can authorize it, but if what you say is true, then I can probably...
I mean, in all honesty, sir, as it stands, he's of information and working theory just based off of an inactive sample.
I understand, but at the same time, let's do these things by the book. I want to meet him and talk to him in person, and at that point I can release the item over to his custody to do his research with.
I can arrange that.
Under normal circumstances, I would then have you keep an eye on him just in case and the object, but I think you are better served continuing on this investigation in this capacity. I'll pass word up the line, and assuming that everything goes well, we'll arrange for somebody to keep an eye on things.
Once we're done here, I'd like to pull some strings with the wands and spend my 6 with Breland to get some wands to both help watch over him and also contribute to the research.
Okay,
Share research.
So how are you going to bring that up here, or is that something you're going to do afterward?
I'll either talk to him at the end of it and see about it, or I'll just go pull some strings along the way to help speed the requests along.
Okay, so it'll be after this meeting, very likely, or the very end of it. Okay.
Exactly. But I figure I have contacts in the wands, and I have a 6 to spend with Breland.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. So Alistair thinks about it for a minute. Between the wands doing their investigation and your artificer friend, hopefully we'll have something within a few days. This sort of thing is never easy. Under other circumstances, I would reach out to House Kenneth for this, but I've been informed that we're not to bring in them on a formal basis.
And I'm kind of mumbling.
You cut out again.
You cut out.
God damn it! I kind of under my breath. Word on the street is they may have more to do with this than we may originally think.
He looks over at you really quickly and says, "And what do you mean by that?"
And of course, I'll share all the grumblings and things that we've heard about Kenneth, both what we've heard from Winsom, what we've heard from our own contacts, that Kenneth is doing something in the the
cogs.
Yeah. At this point, it's all speculation and supposition,
yes.
but there are signs that they may be related. If that could just mean that this tech was stolen from them, but it's something to watch for.
And you're right; it might be a coincidence, but it's also true that if anybody had anything to do with this, Kenneth might.
And we'll additionally bring to bear that. What Winsom was particularly saying was the factions. So there are more tame.
Cut out again.
God damn it! The factioning that is going on within House Kenneth. It may not be the whole of the house. It may be a faction, and maybe a faction that has had something to do with it.
I'd heard that there was fracturing within House Kenneth, and that the part of the house located here in Sharn had been informally referred to as House Kenneth West. So you're right, it could be something unofficial within the house, but it might be something official as well. It's difficult to say.
Exactly. Hence, the mouth for the moment.
I think keep investigating. If it turns out that you need more access to Kenneth, report back to me and I'll see what I can do. Until I know that the asset needs to be used, I would prefer not to, however.
Slow nod.
So either prove the connection or firm it up, and then I will see what I can do. So Kenneth. It does make a certain kind of sense that Kenneth would be involved, at least in the creation of the devices. But however, I can't see them doing their field testing in this way. That's, even by Kenneth standards, that's awfully callous.
Yes, that does seem to be the rub here.
Not in the middle of Sharn. If they were to do it somewhere, they would pick some town on the frontier, or send agents to Drome and let it destroy a town full of monsters. But here in Sharn is a bit of a stretch. Attracting too much attention, it's not how Sharn does things, lest you get slapped down by one faction or another. Nevertheless, I want you to keep it in mind. Follow that lead, and see what comes of it. If nothing comes of it, at least we've eliminated one of the options.
Of course.
Now, what else?
Xuan-de, what about your visitor last night, and not the physical one?
Yeah, that. Okay. So, did you actually make it out to the tower? Did you actually make it out to the site?
Yes, I went there this morning.
Okay, so you saw the destruction, right?
Yes.
When I went to bed, I had a dream is not accurate, and unless you happen to be a scion as well, being able to explain the differences in what happened is not going to be easy. So just take my word for it, skip the fundamental not understanding this, and let's go with I know that what was there, and it was watching. Fairly certain humanoid, and it noticed me fairly quickly. When we went to the place where it had been, where I had noticed it, there was definitely an energy. There was definitely something amiss. And the reports, more or less, say that it felt not dissimilar from the Mournlands. So, if it was a portal from the Mournlands where somebody was looking in, or if it was a Wraith that somehow went undetected, really difficult to say on a lot of different fronts. There's nothing really that makes sense as far as how it could have gotten there without being noticed. But it was there, and it noticed a lot of things that we probably don't want it to know.
That's... Unfortunately, you've given me a lot of nothing in terms of what we can do about it. You've basically said that there's some mysterious thing doing mysterious things around the event site, but you don't know what it is, what it was doing, or why it was there, or anything else.
So
I don't doubt that. Oh no, that's. I have my own doubts, but Valen has vouched for you, and so I will push them aside for the moment and trust that you know what you're talking about in this respect. However, I hope you understand that there's very little that I or anybody else can do with that particular information. It's just too vague. I understand that that one of the wands attempted to pull this creature into the material world last night, but wasn't able to. Is that correct?
More or less. And by the way, now you see why I was so popular with our last boss.
Yes, I have no doubt.
Yeah, the wand who tried to pull the creature in last night did mention something about the space basically feeling hollow, not empty like there was nothing there, but hollow like something had been removed.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure what that means, but it's definitely a weird thing, and it's definitely centered on this investigation.
And you said that it felt like the Mournlands. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's what Xuan-de says, yes.
Well,
I
there
walked through
were
the space. It was just kind of chilly.
That could be another. Go ahead.
there was a wand there that made the statement first. You'd have to ask Irvelin about who that wand was. I did not catch his name.
I'm sure that I can bring that up. If there is a Mournland feel to it, that might be another point connecting it to House Cannith, given their extensive facilities that used to be where the Mournland is now. It doesn't definitively connect them, but it might be something worth looking into, at least in the short term. But I will do my own talking. I will find who was present there last night and discuss this with them and get their opinion on it. I will say that Irvelin has tasked the Watch with determining who was and wasn't there in the tower that night. It might take some days, and there's no guarantee that the records will be comprehensive, but that also might give you an idea of who to search. Anybody not there, unfortunately, has to be immediately considered a suspect. But we probably won't have any further information on that for at least a couple of more days. And as mentioned, it might not even be fully. It might not even be all the records that we need, but it might be a start. Anybody who wasn't there may or may not have known that something was happening that night. It might be in the shot in the dark, but right now all of these are shots in the dark. Is there anything else that you have that you can share?
I believe that's about it for now. I discovered animals don't like me, but I don't think that's related.
Not especially.
I could have told you that much. Sorry, dude. It's kind of a thing.
It's not my fault.
All right. In that
Never
case,
puppy again.
I will let you return to your investigation. Keep me informed. I will be staying here upstairs. Just ask for me at the bar, and they can come and get me. I will stay here. I want daily reports, if possible. If you're in the middle of something, okay. But if possible, keep me informed so I know what's going on.
Okay, I asked if I could have a moment of his time in private.
He gives you a raised eyebrow and then nods and gestures for the rest of you to head off.
Alistair.
Lucan, you're looking a little pale.
I've been told. Last I saw, you weren't a lantern, but I suppose if I knew you were, that would defeat the purpose.
More or less. I've been informed roughly that something has happened to you, and I understand that you were involved with some nefarious business, but that you are not to be questioned in terms of your loyalty.
Yes, I'm all better now, is it? Regardless, you don't trust me here, do you?
Trust is a difficult thing to come in our line of work. I can't say that I trust you, but people that I do trust are okay with you,
Okay.
which is close enough for my needs right now.
Well,
Good enough for
then
them.
if you trust them, and if you trust my reputation as a sword, I would like to ask that a few specific people be assigned to this research. Some people that we know we trust, that we know will do the job, and that will basically give everyone in the group here a little bit easier, a little bit less worry knowing that they're on the job. Specifically in Rodel Charon, I've worked with her before. She is a member of the Wands, and I would like to request that she be assigned to this if possible.
I've heard her name. She has a good reputation.
She's one of the best researchers the Wands have these days.
You have a good point. Very well. I'll see that this is done.
And that's my 6th spent.
Alright, unless there's anything else, Lucan, then you should probably rejoin your comrades and continue the investigation. The sooner this is done, the better, though I suspect it won't be done tonight or any time that soon.
Of course. I do so.
Okay. So what are you guys doing next?
Well, if you wanted, if I want to take that active sample to Winsom.
Yeah, but he wants to meet Winsom first. So what are you going to do in that respect?
Well, then I take him to meet Winsom. Like that's what I would do. Me and Cord would probably do. But I don't know if we want to split again. So
we can send him with Cord.
Yeah,
wait, no,
I think it's probably.
Winsom's your contact, isn't he? Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure that Winsom would do that without Eddie there. Without
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was Cord's contact, so I didn't think there'd be an issue. But no. Let's all go together.
let's all go together.
Yeah, how would well? I'm not sure how Winsom would feel about meeting all of us either.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm fairly certain Winsom is of the mindset the jig is up.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that's.
Also, you're just a squirrel. He'd be fine with that.
Yeah, but I would like to point out Winsom is probably not an idiot, and putting him in the same room as a telepath and a vampire not going to be helpful.
Yeah, so maybe let's not.
You can always just wait outside the room or whatever.
Anyways, we'll get him and the device to Winsom.
When do we anticipate that the wizard will be doing the speak to the dead spell?
It's a little later in the afternoon. Right now, you guys have been talking and eating and that sort of thing for probably about an hour, and most of you were there around 10, but Cord and Wraith got there later. It's getting towards noon right now, and as far as you've been told that The Speak with Dead is going to happen more towards 3.
Okay, so we have about 3 hours to do something.
Yeah.
Lloyd, Dee, don't you have a contact in House Canada that we need to maybe talk to? Or does Cord have a contact in House Canada we can talk to?
Cord knows somebody in House Kenneth, but they're not exactly on all that friendly a term.
Wasn't
Yeah,
his
who is?
mentor supposed to set up a test for them so they could meet and talk about it?
Yes. But that hasn't...
Yeah, I doubt that's
To
today.
your knowledge, that hasn't been done yet.
Well, we don't really know about it, so...
Yeah, and I'm not sure... Given that Justin isn't here, I don't necessarily want to go deep into that at the moment anyway.
Besides which, it's been less than 12 hours. It's probably not happened yet.
No, very unlikely that it's happened yet. Even if the mentor has reached out, it's probably going to take some time to wind through.
Yeah. We have to follow up on the lead that Pearl gave us with her contact down in the cogs.
Isn't he going to contact us when he's ready?
Was he? Sorry, I thought we had to hit him up again. You're probably right, though.
I'm trying
Yeah,
to...
well, what? I can't remember. What were you guys asking from
We
him?
were following those trails, and he was trying to help us get a line on who might have come through there and who might have had anything to do with the attack.
Oh, yeah, okay.
From the downstairs side.
Yeah, that's also not going to be... I mean, like you said, it's only been 12 hours, so...
Yeah.
How long ago did I contact my mentor?
Probably the same.
That was a little later. That was... Because that was before you went to bed. So that was probably, at this point, about 16 or 18 hours ago.
Man, it feels like a month. It's
Yeah, just only feels that way. It hasn't actually been that way.
Yep.
Um,
So, more or less, we've tapped out almost all of our easy contacts.
For the moment. So I'm good to drop this guy off with Winsom, let you guys handle that while we wait, and then go see this Speak with Dead guy and see what we can learn.
Stupid dead guy.
Speak with Dead guy.
Speak with dead guy.
I like Stupid Dead Guy better.
I can kind of
let's
go
see the
either
Stupid
way
Dead
anyway.
guy.
Okay.
Besides, that's me.
Yeah, we're kind of... I mean, we're waiting for a list of suspects. We're waiting for the artifice, the wands. We're waiting for the spell. We're waiting for our contacts to get back to us. Other
Did
than
you go
going
fight some
back down to
muggers?
the city to try to find that trail that attacked us last time, or snooping around House Kenneth or House Medini.
Yeah,
Let's do the Batman thing and go beat up some muggers.
I like it.
There's no supervillains around yet.
Well, we could get Xuan-de to do the the Shadow of Mordor thing.
I want
Give me your mind.
I want a sword with holes in the pommel, or I'm sorry, the hilt.
Why?
not happening.
I'm
Can't
afraid I
have
don't
Marcel.
understand that reference.
I will totally put on a main wig and go all Thundercats on y'all bitches.
Oh, okay.
No.
Besides changing sword.
By the Eye of Thundera.
Hmm. I think.
I mean, there's not a lot of straight up recon that we can do right now. As kind of previously stated, it's mid-frickin' morning.
Yeah. And this is one of those things that there's a lot of hurry up and wait.
3 hours later.
Yeah.
Sparkle wipe.
There's more than a little bit in this line of work. There's a lot of have to be patient.
Oh, yeah.
You have to hurry up and get into position so you can wait for something. And there's a lot of just waiting for information to come in. So this isn't unfamiliar to those of you in the lanterns. It's a little more, probably a little more frustrating for Lucan, since you were part of the swords, and that's
We're a little more direct.
yeah, it's a little more obvious what you're doing, how you're doing it, what you should be doing. Whereas with the lanterns, it's not always as active. But when it does get active, it gets extremely active. So.
Oh yes.
Actually, screw it. I've got an idea.
What?
I have an idea.
Ideas?
Cool.
Ladies first.
I am sufficiently scared. Go ahead.
I think we should put some slum clothes on and go slumming down in the lower district and see if we can hear anything more about these Dawn brothers.
Sorry.
Definitely not something I can do. I think that is worth pursuing, but as previously discussed, Xuan-de just straight up cannot fit back down there.
I can get you dirty.
So what you should think about is, instead of just saying no, how can you make that work to your advantage?
That's where I was going to go next with that. I want to go to the university and find a I don't know, best I can think of to call it would be a current events or a recent history major, and try to do some research on the recent going-ons around the Marnlands. I want to see if there's been any significant political activity, any significant military activity, any influx of unusual attacks specifically around just that entire blighted area.
Are you
want
looking
a
for
nosy
stuff?
journalist.
Are you looking for stuff inside the Mournlands or stuff that's happening around it?
For right now, based on my time constraints, I would like to look specifically inside the Mournlands. If anybody
Therein lies the problem. The Mournlands are basically a wasteland. It's not necessarily easy to get in. It's not necessarily easy to get out, and it's very isolated in that respect. It's not just post-apocalyptic. It's there's more to it than that.
It's basically the living embodiment of entropy.
Yeah, but I'm kind of pulling on that from the collegiate perspective, that there's got to be somebody at this college weird enough to want to study the so off-kilter thing that they might have some little piece of information.
Well, there's definitely people studying it. It's a question of whether they're like researching current events or whether they're just like studying the magic.
Yeah, that's more or less the big difference. There are a lot of people studying it because
either one would work for me.
Okay, so but you want to go to the university? Do you want to go to the University of Sharn, or did you want to go to Moorgrave University? Because the former is more likely to have more general information, whereas Moorgrave has a reputation, shall we say, as being grave robbers. They are from the Indiana School of Archaeology, let's put it that way. Indiana Jones School of Archaeology.
Excellent.
And they might have something that's more current, but less generally applicable.
I've got 2 hours. I'm going to say Indiana Jones. I'm going to get me a whip.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
So
one thing about
you're-
Indiana Jones is he got things done quickly.
Okay, so
I
you're going to the university. Is anybody going with him to Moorgrave, I should say? Moorgrave University.
Alright, so we got 3 places right now that we're wanting to head. We got Moorgrave, we have
Slumming.
Sharn, where Winsom is,
Yes.
right? And we have Slumming to find out about what was that we were trying to find out about, Gemma?
The Dawn Brotherhood?
I don't think I quite heard that. Sorry.
The Dawn Brothers.
Dawn Brothers. Who are they?
The criminals that have been more active in the lower ranks.
Okay. I'm not great at slumming, as we've already discovered. I'll come with Xuan-de to Morgrave.
Okay.
I've probably got some contacts at the university, like in general. I'll just go with him too. I'm not going to go down there by myself. That's not safe. Unless I go as a cat.
It's plenty safe for a squirrel.
It's never safe for a squirrel. In that area, a squirrel is dinner.
That might be.
And so's a cat. So's a halfling.
The bunny rabbit would be safe.
The bunny rabbit would be safe.
Maybe.
That's because everybody would be afraid of a bunny rabbit that managed to survive in Sharn for more than a couple of minutes.
You could go as a fish.
Wait, what's that cute little white bunny rabbit doing there? Dude, don't. Just don't.
Sharp, pointy teeth.
Exactly.
Let's see.
I've been reading.
So,
To the universities!
so 3 of you are going to the university. Wraith, what are you doing? Are you going to go do something yourself? Or are you going to go to the university with them? Are you going to do something with Cord?
But Wraith was taking Cord and Alistair to see Winsom.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay.
That's probably Does someone want to go with him? Or do...
I would assume I go with Cord. As
Okay.
he's together,
I
we've
meant
been
someone
together
who's
this
here.
whole time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this should be short, I would expect, because we really just taking to make the introduction. Once we make the introduction, then I assume we have a handoff of the device, and then Winsom just needs Winsom time. You know what I mean?
But then suddenly ninjas attack and...
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
the assumption is that it's short. You know what they say about assuming, though.
Something about
there's-
asses.
Yes. Let's go ahead and
Mr.
stop here for tonight because I'm losing my focus fast.
Mhm.
And I think we've gotten a fair amount done, and this will be a good place to pick up next time, too.
Do you know if Justin will be here next week, or is he
I
still busy
I
with...
think he's going to be here next week.
Okay. If he
I
is...
think the idea of
I'm
getting married in
hoping-
Vegas was to do the honeymoon and everything there at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, he is
so
getting
if he is, then we'll continue how we are. If not, then I'll accompany Wraith to go with Winsom.
That's probably a good way to go. So yeah, let's plan on that.
Cool.
Hopefully he will be back because it's good having him around for a
I know
lot
you
of
never
reasons.
know what happens in Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know what the good reverend is gonna get into. Though hopefully he'll at least manage bail.
And manage to stay married. That'd be nice.
That too.
Yeah.
But mostly bail.
All
That
right. If you're watching this weekend, Justin, and why the hell are you? Congrats, for one.
Hooray!
And two, why the hell are you watching us when you could be doing stuff in Vegas?
That too. That too.
Yeah. So, yeah, anything else that we need to go over before we end the broadcast?
I do not believe so.
I don't think so either. Yeah, nothing immediately comes to mind. Don't forget to do your, what's it called?
Incremental.
Incremental. You'll have the week to do that, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Incremental.
Let's
Okay.
end the broadcast. Everybody say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.